Hey guys, it's Mike Monty, one half of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. And we want to reach out to all the fans out there who have supported our show to say thank you. Thank you for making 2021 one of our best years. And one of our best years was because of Anchor. Anchor, the way that you can have your voice heard. You can be just like us. Record your own podcast. Use the Anchor tools to edit your podcast. Use it on a phone. Use it on your computer. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all with Anchor, they're totally free. So be just like Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monty and the Pharaoh. We're looking together for a great 2022. We've got huge guests coming on board. Oh, yeah. You probably wonder why Jimmy's not here right now. Well, he's prepping for one of the best interviews we're about to have, and we're going to surprise someone with. So hang aboard with us, and don't forget, be like us and use Anchor.
And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
Hi, it's John from Under the Table Hot Sauce. I'm here with my friend, the star of the show, Jimmy Farrow.
Yeah, what's up, JB?
Nothing.
It's been a hot summer, and for all your barbecue needs, you can go to underthetablehotsauce.com. 13 unique flavors to choose from, created and bottled in a Long Island kitchen. Underthetablehotsauce.com. Let's go chow, JB.
Let's do it.
All the flavor, twice the burn. Elm Logistics for all your logistic needs. Call 631-299-3595. That's 631-299-3595. Elm Global Logistics. Pride, performance, and partnerships. Okay, folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier. I'm here with another AEW Apologist report. I think it's, God, are we up to 26 at this point? It's hard to keep track. So let's talk about some things. Now, you might be expecting, well, gee whiz, Mike's going to hit us with his Revolution analysis, or he's going to hit us with the Jeff Hardy discussion. Jeff Hardy's coming into AEW. I can talk about that in a minute, and I will, because it's a nice segue that this special AEW Apologist report is going to be an open discussion towards the new AEW talents, specifically the ones that are coming in from up north, from the dreaded WWE, okay? And this is something that I don't feel that I should have to be the one to educate the actual wrestlers, the talent, especially the WWE refugees who are seeking solace at Pro Wrestling's Ellis Island of AEW. But since no one else seems to be getting the fucking message across, I guess it's on my lap to educate the wrestlers now. Not only do I have to educate the fans, I have to educate the actual wrestlers. So here goes. Jeff Hardy, yes, did make his AEW debut last Wednesday night. He basically did a run-in to save his brother, Matt Hardy. And as our good friends Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez debated, Jeff Hardy comes out to the ring. He's got that old Hardy Boys music because apparently Tony Khan has purchased the library of that stock music. So he's got his customary WWE do-do-do-do music. He comes out. Matt Hardy, his brother, is getting beat up by Private Party and the Butcher and the Blade and so forth. Andrade, Idolo are all beating up good old Matt Hardy. So here comes Jeff Hardy to make the save. Now, rather than just dart to the ring like a normal human being would do if your brother's getting viciously attacked, you just dart right to the ring from the back. Instead, he comes out, his music's playing, and he does a little dance. He does a little shimmy shake, does a little Jeff Hardy 1999, routine, okay? I mean, if he was in the NFL, that would have been banned by now, okay? This ceremony. So the question is, why would a guy who's supposedly trying to save his brother from a beating waste valuable time to dance? In logical terms, that makes no sense. Your brother's getting his ass beat. You're there to save him. Wouldn't you rush to the ring as soon as possible? Or would you stop? Do you mind I'm doing this goddamn promo? Would he go to the fucking sound guy with his audio cassette or his CD or his fucking thumb drive and say, "Oh, brother, play my music"? And then when the music comes out, he comes out and does a little shimmy shake. So this is one of those pro wrestling tropes. However, it's not really a pro wrestling trope as much it is a WWE trope. WWE trains their wrestlers in a certain way, and I'm sure Jeff and all the other wrestlers in WWE and NXT were trained like obedient dogs, that when they go in for a run-in, they have to do their typical entrance ceremony. And if that is some type of pose or some type of dance or shimmy shake, take valuable time and do that because that's what the audience wants in that WWE type of mindset. So when Jeff Hardy came out on AEW and he fell into that lazy habit of doing that dance, you don't need to do that here, Jeff, okay? Leave the idiot wrestling for the idiot company. When you come to AEW, the fans expect better, okay? We don't expect idiot wrestling, okay? So learn from your error and try to, stick to the straight and narrow, so to speak. I saw Sting was probably having some flashbacks to TNA days, seeing you in the ring with him, Jeff, and everyone's hoping and praying that this time is different, but you should be thankful you have a fucking job in AEW, and you should mind your goddamn P's and Q's, and stick to the straight and fucking narrow. And if you need help, there's always Uber and there's always Lyft. You don't need to be like the Usos back there in the WWE, risking people's safety by driving improperly, okay? So get Uber and Lyft put into your goddamn phone and learn how to call for help if you need it. If you need it. Just speculating if. I'm not saying anything out of turn. I don't want to get sued. But the man has a history that we're all aware of. So I'm just fucking saying that he should see this as perhaps his final chance to salvage a bit of his reputation now that he's on our payroll here in AEW. Further fucking more, let's talk about the goddamn shock face. Now, I first saw this, I want to say it was the Ruby Riott, I think it was Chris Statlander semi-final match for the AEW Women's Title Tournament. I think that was in December, October or December. I get my mind confused sometimes. But basically, they had this semi-final match, Statlander versus Riott, I believe. And from my recollection, and I thought about this at the time, but, Rudy Soho seems like a nice enough lady. I didn't want to publicly embarrass her. But now I guess I'm going to have to because this has to be stopped as well. Ruby Riott goes for a pin on Chris Statlander, and Chris Statlander kicks out of like the 2.5. And Ruby does the shock face. The WWE wrestlers do this a lot, especially when you start getting into title matches, that if somebody kicks out of a finisher, which of course they always fucking do, the person who just got kicked out on has to sell the kick out. Like they're so goddamn shocked and in awe. I mean, I saw fucking Charlotte Flair do one, which was ridiculous at one point. But it's a very WWE thing for like maybe the last 6 or 7 years, the shock face. And maybe less, maybe 4 or 5. But the shock face must be something they're teaching these poor wrestlers when they get their puppet strings in Orlando. Because it's really quite pathetic and sad. Like it's like, yes, asshole, you're in a goddamn wrestling match, which you've been in for many years. You've been in wrestling matches. And you did your finisher, and in this day and fucking age, nobody gets pinned from just one finisher. So, of course, the motherfucker you're wrestling is going to kick out. You should be expecting that. And you should just resume the match, okay, and plot your next move. And not... It's just so goddamn formulaic that they've been programmed, like the meat puppets they are, to do the shock face. And someone has to fucking... Oh, they're going to do a close-up on me for the shock face. Well, Ruby did the fucking shot face with Statlander. The first time I remember seeing the shock face pollute the waters of AEW, the pristine waters. And most recently, I saw none other than Tony Nese, who's kind of one of these AEW signees that's kind of gone under the radar. Another one of these guys that's a great wrestler, but he's not known for his mic skills. He doesn't even have a really good name, to be honest with you. And no offense, it's just not a very charismatic name. Tony Nese does nothing for me. Doesn't give you any sense of anything. And he's just kind of a guy that's been doing a lot of darks and elevations and whatever the fucks. And here he is putting over Shane Strickland in his AEW debut, which is it was a decent match. I'm sure a lot of people liked it because of the high spots and so forth. It wasn't my favorite. It was okay. But at one point... He did a fantastic maneuver. Tony Nese is a great athlete, and, you know, Strickland's pretty good, too. But Tony Nese does a nice maneuver, like a high-flying assault move onto the prone Shane Strickland, and gets a 2.5, and he does the fucking shock face. And leave your goddamn WWE circus tricks at home. You know, when you come over to AEW, we don't need the fucking shock face. We don't need dancing during run-ins. Those are idiot wrestler habits, and those idiot wrestler habits stay in idiot country, okay? They don't come down to AEW. What's next? Revolution, I did a post pay-per-view analysis. You can watch that on Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Thank you very much. But overall, I'll be honest, it was a good show. A lot of people loved the show. For whatever reason, it didn't strike me as hard as being as good as the prior two pay-per-views, especially the one from Chicago where Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole and everybody made their debuts. So this one was a good pay-per-view in my book. I don't think I liked it as much as others, but there could be a thing of law of diminishing returns for me. Maybe I was having an off night as a fan. There were no title changes. This Dr. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa thing, I guess I'm going to have to go into that a little bit. They're setting up for this cage match. You've got to assume that Thunder's going to win the title in that cage match coming up. Otherwise, you know, she's really getting buried here. Thunder had a very clunky match. I guess I'll give it the fucking botch of the week match. Thunder Rosa versus Layla Hirsch, legit Layla Hirsch, who does nothing for me, by the way. But just, I was discussing this recently. When these wrestlers, you can tell that they've choreographed all their spots in the locker room, and when their spots in the ring don't go right, you can see like a wrestler pausing and waiting for the other wrestler to do their move. It's just not natural looking. It's not fluid. It's just like bad choreography on women's ice skating or some such god-awful thing. So these wrestlers need to learn how to call matches in the ring and not be so reliant on all the goddamn spots that they worked out in the fucking dressing room. It's just laziness, and we're trying to get away from the laziness in pro wrestling here. Kind of like that hand, the Drew McIntyre hand spot in that fucking Hell in a Cell. Just laziness, and we don't appreciate that in AEW, okay? So, what the fuck else? Shane Strickland, Jeff Hardy, all these fucks. I mean, what are we going to do with them? I mean, we've got this whole ROH thing that we own now, and it's like, where are we going to put some of these assholes over there? But the reality is, and I agree with this statement, concentrate on one promotion at a time. I don't really know if there's a rabid enough fan base right now for new wrestling where you need a fucking Ring of Honor up and running. I mean, if they were so good, why wouldn't they be in business before this? Like, why would they have to have a change of ownership and go off the grid for a while if they were so fucking great? And the answer is, it's more, to me, the ROH purchase should be considered, but I'm not the one who bought it, not my problem. But it should be considered more for the tape value, whatever amount of tapes that Khan got, he should be thankful for that and concentrate on that, not feel that he has to give all these half-ass wrestlers a fucking job. I mean, this is the Joey Ryan promotion we're talking about anyway, okay? The promotion that gave you Joey Ryan on TV for months and months. Wrestlers Court, horrible. The company that put Tessa Blanchard with a fucking title, a men's title around her waist. People say that AEW buried Brian Cage. Well, in my opinion, Brian Cage buried himself by getting beaten by Tessa Blanchard years ago in Impact. And then you got guys like Sami Callihan taking baseball bats to the cranium of Eddie Edwards in a god-awful spot. I don't appreciate that either, okay? So, any fucking way. What else? Wardlow is now full-fledged babyface. On Dynamite, he cut his welcome to the babyface side of the team promo, leaving a little bit open for, obviously, when Wardlow is about to win the TNT title from the new champion, Scorpio Sky, MJF will come out, cause a distraction, maybe punch Wardlow upside the head with that ring, and Scorpio Sky will retain the title, the TNT title, and pin Wardlow, which will be the first blemish on Wardlow's back, or his one loss, and that's what I predict for that. The Paige Van Zant, I mean, very attractive woman. I mean, she looks like she'd be good for certain things. And but here she is feuding now. I guess Brandy has left, and so Paige here is left to do business with other people. Ty Conti and Sami Callihan have become Twitter fucks. They've become very obnoxious with their love crap. She's a very pretty woman, but it seems to me like I don't know. I mean, I could say some things, but they would be considered as horrible. And I mean, she's a pretty woman, and I think she enjoys being a wrestler and all that. But I mean, we don't need to hear the intimate details of your sex lives, kids. Keep it to yourselves. I know it's the era of exhibitionism, and everybody who's fucking someone has to tweet with the hashtag, I just fucked this person every day. But it's classless in my fucking book. And, you're not Kim Kardashian, Tay Conti. You're a goddamn woman's wrestler. So be happy you have a fucking job. And do things honorably. So that's all I fucking ask from everybody, is to wrestle with integrity and to do things the right way. Over on the other side of the fence, speaking of god-awful WWE things, this Butch, I mean, that's caused quite a little uproar. People are upset that they're Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, 175 pounds, if that, of cruiserweight mayhem, and bending people's fingers and so forth. He is now to be called Butch. I mean, it's just... And there's nothing wrong with the name Butch, by the way, okay? I mean, great character from Pulp Fiction was named Butch, played by Bruce Willis. But, I mean, this Butch thing with the little hat and the little, shirt, the tank top and the pants, looking like he's a 1940s paperboy, it's really demeaning to the talent. And to the fans that are sitting there on a Friday night watching this stuff, and you've invested a couple of years of your lives into watching Pete Dunne wrestle as Pete Dunne, now you see Butch. Does that not make you feel like an idiot? Does that not make you feel like an asshole that you're spending your Friday night watching Butch wrestle? And then, of course, in the middle of the goddamn match that Butch is at ringside for, guess what happens? Someone gets severely injured. Big E Langston, or Big E from the New Day, great wrestler that everyone seems to love. This Ridge Holland fellow who's got a horrible ring name, Ridge. I'm supposed to call you Ridge. I mean, that's the stupid wallet thing, the Ridge wallet. That's horrible. So this guy's name is Ridge Holland. He goes in there, and what happens? Ridge Holland gives him a suplex, gives Big E a suplex, and the poor guy lands on his neck the wrong way because he was probably thrown the wrong way. And furthermore, stupid move to do in the first place. Like an overhead belly. I mean, they said it was a belly-to-belly suplex, but I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do. Like a reverse German suplex or something. Just horribly designed spot. These are big guys we're talking about. I mean, I don't know their exact weights, but Big E looks to be about 300 pounds, 275, 265. Big guy. And he's athletic and everything, but he can only do so much. If this Ridge Holland doesn't have the muscle dexterity to throw the guy, then please don't do this maneuver. And to me, it's reckless behavior, okay? And I'm sure all the assholes will say, oh, it was an accident. But I am not the biggest Ridge Holland expert, but apparently he's had a few other of these mishaps. So you're playing with people's lives here, their quality of life. Luckily, the word is that Big E has, he actually said it himself, a couple of bruised C4s or whatever the fuck's back there in the neck. But luckily, he hasn't lost, no spine damage, and his neck doesn't even require surgery. So he got lucky, you know. And but, I mean, you talk about pro wrestling. I was watching some old school wrestling. You know, I guess old school is now the 90s. And it's like I'm watching Darren Drozdev come out and wrestle a match. And it's like, this is sad now because we know what happened to him. So anyway, folks, I'm not trying to weigh you down. I'm just sharing these opinions. All these fucks have to be around me. You know what I mean? I just want some peace and solace in this goddamn world. And these people have to be around me. Okay? So any goddamn way, that's your AEW. Is there anything else I can bitch about? The NWA Crockett Cup is coming up for the wrestling fans that are interested. I get no residual, but the NWA Crockett Cup will be on Fight TV if you want to do that. Oh, God, what else? WrestleMania, this Pat McAfee thing, it probably is more interesting to others than it is to me. To me, it's just another silly match. I guess Meltzer and Associates were all wrong that it's not fucking Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee at WrestleMania. So all the internet pundits who released that information, I don't know if they publicly apologized. I never reported that as being fact. I just said it's something I heard. But, you know, these assholes never apologize. They just say things changed, plans changed. Cody Rhodes, we're out thou. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only Cody Rhodes, to be honest with you. If he comes back to AEW or if he goes to fucking WWE, it's kind of like, how are you going to package this guy? You know, how can WWE market Cody Rhodes as a big deal without acknowledging why he's a big deal? And the reason he would be a big deal is because he went and helped create AEW, and he went to Japan, and he went to Ring of Honor, and he went to Impact. So I think it's kind of a weird booking thing for Cody. If WWE had something in mind, apparently, some speculation he'll be here in Jacksonville on fucking Monday for Raw. If that happens, and so forth. But the speculated match, and it's only speculation, is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Would that be a good match? Sure. To be honest with you, Seth Rollins is probably a better wrestler than Cody. You know, I mean, as far as in-ring WWE style, is Seth willing to do the type of shit that Cody does with the ladders and the fire? Probably not, but, you know, I don't know. I mean, it is what it fucking is. So, wrestling fucks, fans, everyone, have a good week. Try not to take this shit too seriously. I know I do at times. I get very angry. This whole Vader and WWE Hall of Fame, I've been angry. People don't always understand where my anger comes from, but I've experienced wrestling the way it should be, and now that it's not the way that it should be, it disappoints me. So I make my statements, and I try to rectify the goddamn sport, and I try to fix it, but there's only so much I can do. What you can do is you can share these videos, you can cross-promote these videos in your own wrestling groups and get the word out. But if you don't, you don't. I mean, I can't control your goddamn behavior. You do whatever the fuck you want in this goddamn world. So that's it. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, Monty and the Pharaoh. I saw that the gentleman from Boston area, I don't want to say his name incorrectly, but I believe Dan passed away up there from the talk shows with Tony Atlas and John Cena Sr., and very sad to see that. Whenever someone from the wrestling world passes, it's a sad thing. So, wrestle in peace, so to speak. The Jesse Ventura interview will be coming up on Monty the Pharaoh that everyone's excited about, and so on and so forth. So that's it. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Goodbye.